Howdy guys, Rex here. Today we're going to talk about realistic battle rattle. A fun topic, okay? A lot of people get real bent out of shape on this if you don't define what you're talking about right off the bat, okay? This is not a video on how to look exactly like Hoot from Black Hawk Down. That's a different video, okay? This is not a video on how to look exactly like or play dress up like the guys on Zero Dark 30. Now, we have to recognize that those guys were all professionals who went through a systematic methodology of equipment selection to cover the bases they needed to have done in order to shoot, move, communicate, and sustain in the context of the battlefield they were on, taking into consideration all the different stuff, the physical terrain, hot, cold, wet, dry. What's the human terrain? What's our logistical resupply? Who are the people we're working with? Those are all things that Hoot would have taken into consideration when he went into Mogadishu to do his thing. Or the guys in the other movie, they all had to go through those systematic methodologies with the equipment they had available to them at the time to really cover their necessities in the context of that situation. So here we're talking about the context of North America, being in the United States with the equipment available to us at the time here, and what do we need to really guard ourselves against a variety of all potential threats that could ever arise. That's one of the things on streamlining your equipment. It's nice to be able to have something that'll work for everything, no matter what the situation is, and that is possible if you bring enough of the right kind of experience to the table. Now, this is something we're going to cover in Armed Retainer Level 1, which is, of course, coming up very soon here. We're going to talk a lot about this because this is the biggest first step, is diffusing a lot of the myopic paradigms we bring to the table from either our prior experiences in the military, law enforcement, contracting, or the commercial training we've done, or the video games, or the movies we've watched, right? Those are all things that are going to play into our selection criteria, but how do we get past that and actually look at what's the methods we need to select this stuff? So look at it from the context of those four factors: to shoot, move, communicate, and sustain. When you look at your rifle, for example, you're going to want to ask yourself, how far can I reach? How close can I shoot? So you have to be flexible in that. How am I going to carry this rifle? How am I going to manage the ammunition? These are all questions we have to ask ourselves. And so before we come to the Armed Retainer class, I think this video discussion is going to really be fruitful in causing people to start doing the reps and sets in their mind of the process of starting to even think about these things from a realistic context. Howdy guys, Rex here. So we have some more questions on the Armed Retainer courses, kind of what to expect and what to bring in terms of equipment. I present to you rather a series of questions to think about because we'll start the learning process a little early. And these are things that will help you if you start thinking about them now as you're selecting your equipment. This is going to help you tremendously in the long run. And a lot of what we cover in the course is going to be talking about these concepts. This is a concepts course every bit or even more as much as it is a live fire shooting course. We're of course going to do live fire shooting, but a lot of this course is going to be kind of addressing different myopic paradigms and philosophies and different contexts than people might be used to, whether they do a lot of flat range training, there's a lot of different angles on commercial training and military training available that might not be thinking about all 360 degrees of the martial aspect of this whole deal. So let's take a look at a few different rifles here. What kind of rifle should a guy have? Good question. I'm going to ask you. So we got this is just an M4 here. And so what would be some of the limitations on this particular rifle, the way it's set up now in terms of carrying it, okay? What are going to be some of the limitations? What if I want to make supper without putting my rifle down? How am I going to do that? And you might ask, why would a guy need to do that? Well, that's the reason we expand our horizons with different kinds of training, right? Weapons handling is like a huge deal. And those of you that have gone through the military are going to understand some of these concepts a little better, but there's a lot more to it than that. What's your footprint going to be like? Are you going to be able to take this into grab your coffee in the morning without getting chased off? Well, maybe around here you can, but wherever you're at, let's say you're in a place that's not super friendly towards this kind of stuff. How are you going to traverse the terrain with something like that? Is that the best choice? How about these rifles here, okay? We got I think that's like a BCM there in the multi-cam kind of deal. And we got this little SBR here and 300 blackout with a can on it, right? And we got a Bergara 6.5 PRC. What's the best one of these? Let's say we live out in the open plains, right? And Red Dawn goes down, okay? Red Dawn happens. Which one of these is going to give you the most problems? Which one of these are going to have the longest life expectancy when you're going from one farm to another or one town to another if you lose your vehicle? Think about it. All things to think about. How are you going to carry that across a super dangerous environment? Okay? Things to think about. What are these? How much noise are these going to make? If you're trying to actually sneak with a rifle like this, how much noise are they going to make in terms of just handling it? That's something to think about too. How are you going to have the sling set up? What's the advantages to different sling setups? Can you cinch it up when you got your hands busy, like around your back? Is stuff going to dig into you? What about the charging handle ears? Reed did a pretty good video on that just yesterday on charging handles. All things to think about. How about this bolt rifle here? What kind of human terrain is that going to be acceptable in, right? What kind of places is it not going to be acceptable in? Where's it going to be kosher? Where's it not going to be kosher? There's so many different aspects to think about here. How about these boots? How about footwear? I mean, this goes in every different aspect of when you get your battle-rattle, so to speak, right? So many people like to play dress-up, right? But maybe they haven't been in certain situations where you might have to ask a question, what kind of footwear do I need to actually wear to where I won't be killed? Believe it or not, I've been in a situation where it was a thing that a guy had to think about it. What kind of damn shoes do I need to put on? Am I going to put on these? Or am I going to put on these? Well, these have better arch support and better ankle support. And these old Danners, I mean, they've been on multiple continents here. You know, they work great. But there's a lot of other stuff you got to consider, right? Likewise with your load-bearing equipment. So we got here a few different options. We got pretty well-known system like a plate carrier rig with the mag pouches on the front, right? We got the old style LB2s, I think. It's kind of a mix of LB1, LB2 here, like I used to have back in the day. And we got a Type 56, which you're going to see all over the rest of the world. Which one of these is superior? I know which one is cooler on TV. I know which one makes a sexier Instagram post. But which one of these is going to be preferable in an all-out collapse of civilization where you got a first world enemy chasing you, or a low-intensity conflict where you're trying to camouflage yourself through the human terrain, or there's multiple different scenarios. What's the best all-round system that'll work for every different environment? Environment goes so much beyond, is it raining, is it snowing, is it hot out, is it cold out? There's a lot of other kind of factors to the environment. That's why we're doing the human terrain course. What's the advantages to the old comm block system here? What are the advantages to that? What are the disadvantages? What's the deal with the shovel? When can something like this save my hide in a really, really locked down area? Even in an urban environment. Like, these are things to ask. And why is the back end of the shovel here, why is there pink in there? What the hell is that about? And by the way, if you're coming to class and you're going to bring an IFAC, try to get the bear FAC. I'll leave the comments below. There's a lot of reasons we like to do that. They got really good stuff, but that'll help you. That's one thing I will tell you ahead of time to maybe bring if you don't have one yet. I like these. How about a bag like this? In this bag, we got a bunch of range tools, gear. You can have ammo in this bag. What's the advantage to having a bag like this over something like that vest? What's the disadvantage? When is this inferior to that? How about this? One of them tactical man purse deals. It has the skull guy on the side there. See that? Kind of scary, right? When is that going to be like a problem to have that? And when is it going to be a better choice? How about jackets? Now, I actually laid this out here for a big reason. So this M4 right now is laying on my like tactical jacket. I got all my line 1 gear in the jacket, basically. You know, what's line 1 gear? Well, you'll find out. Okay, but like I got this jacket here. When is this jacket not as good as maybe this black kind of rain jacket deal? Or maybe, how about this winter coat? Obviously, if it's winter, you want that. How about this flannel? Which system, because this is all part of a system, guys, which one of these jackets is going to complement my system the best for all different possible scenarios? What's going to be your daily go-to setup, right? Because you're not going to have the option of like attaching like a frickin' wall locker to your Ellis pack and just walking up and into the whatever's going on, right? You have to kind of think this stuff out ahead of time. Likewise, what kind of optics are you running? How far can you shoot? How close can you shoot? You know, this rifle can push a mile with this easy. 6.5 PRC, no problem. We got the GLX series mil dot on there. Very, very good rifle. Can shoot a mile, but how close can I use that? Can I use that at basically point blank range? What kind of sights is a guy going to have for backups and why? How are you going to set up your optic? How are you going to zero these different rifles? That's a big question too, okay? The traditional 25 meter zero, battle sight zero. What's the advantages and disadvantages of that? What about 100 meter zero? For like, if you're going to have a quote unquote sniper rifle, what's the best zero for that? You're going to zero it at 100 yards, 36 yards, 30 meters, 30 yards. There's a lot of different options out there, a lot of different preferences. Which one is going to be the best all-round choice for all different applications that have to do with real-life deals? Now, at the class, we're going to have myself and my instructor both covering this from a multitude of angles, talking about these things with a lot of different experience. Like we said before, he's going to bring over 60 different countries and a multitude of different environments and different theaters of operation into perspective here, putting together different task forces, training, you know, foreign soldiers from all different places. I've got a chance to go around a little bit and do different things. And so this is something we're going to visit about in detail at the class to really cover the systematic methodologies in kit selection, how you think about tools, how you think about gear. Now, you're not going to carry all this stuff. You're just going to carry a part of it. But what parts of the system are you going to implement into yours? So those are questions to start thinking about, okay? If I feed you the answers, that's not going to be near as good as thinking about it, because it's the process of becoming intimate with some of these topics at the moment here. And we'll get into the answers when we get to the class. But you have to wrestle with it from multiple angles, and then you'll come primed for learning. Likewise, we got comms, right? Like, when do you want to use maybe SATCOMs, radios? What frequencies would you want to use? How about your iPhone? When's that a good time? When's it good to use like chem lights or light signals or smoke signals or carrier pigeon? What are the different comm systems? What are going to be the advantages? When are you going to use them? How loud are they really? You know, like what kind of comm sec do you have with these things? It's going to be different, vastly different from the perspective of a first world outfit than it will be from a third world outfit. Completely different perspectives because it's not symmetrical. And so how is that stuff done? What are the pluses and minuses? And when do you not want to use certain deals? All super important to understand. All stuff we're going to cover. The armed retainer level 1 is just the beginning of this training. That's kind of the gateway to get you into the door to kind of vet you. After that, we're going to do a lot of other stuff that's going to really, really be a solid foundation of how would a guy or a group of guys learn how to do this stuff in real life to make it a solid competency rather than to just be able to pose with cool stuff. Like, that's going to be a huge deal. If you really want to add to the foundation of your knowledge and experience on these topics, you have to really look at it from a realistic field perspective. Hopefully that gets the ball rolling on a lot of these different topics, and we can cover them when we meet you guys in just a month here for the May course. I think we have one more ticket for sale on the May course, if I believe I am right. And I think the June course is maybe half full. So if you guys want to jump in, check it out, rexdefense.com. All right, adios. Nice.
I've never taken a long-range class before, but I can't imagine anybody delivering this much information in this short of a period.
Yeah, it takes a while. After you've been around a while, you kind of accumulate most of this information. Some of it falls by the wayside. Some of it you retain. At least you know it's there, and if you need to use it, you can pull on it.
You cannot miss an opportunity to gain knowledge. You cannot. The guys that are going to talk here, there must be 250 years of experience wandering around in the people that you're going to be exposed to. And I'm talking like hard-earned experience.
Rex is, of course, an absolute natural. He showed us over the years that, so I wasn't surprised to see him perform beautifully because he was born for it. He is naturally an awesome presenter. So whether he does it through YouTube, on video camera, or live, and by the way, congratulations, this is beyond the full house. I really think some people snuck up on you, man. You got to double check on who paid and who didn't, because I see more than 80 people here. I see north of 100 people.
If you have not been studying long range for quite some time, I'm not saying not to come to this class. I'm saying you better put your helmet on. It's gonna go fast. You can't get information like this is gonna happen in this class. You can't get that like anywhere.
He's already well known, and he'll get better and better and better.
But you're right. We have a very strong concentration of people with this much interest and passion. You know, in this one room, everybody's here looking for the best and trying to be the best, and I love it.
And that's the secret to success, too, guys, is surrounding yourself with competent, intelligent, and passionate people.
Yeah.
And you see that a lot in this room, because everybody that gathers together here is because of a love for the sport or the craft and the skill and the art and the science. And you, Mr. Rex, you're kicking some butt up there today, man. You're in the zone.
I'm getting sweatier and sweatier, Lou. Wait until 4 hours from now.
You know, I'm a little scared to get up there. I mean, Rex is such a great speaker in this forum, and I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to bore these guys to death. But I can tell you one thing I like about these type of forums. When you get guys that admit to being interested in long-range shooting, you're past the guy who swears he can shoot a quarter-inch group with his factory Savage with factory ammo. So these guys, they're not at that point. They've gone past that. They're really serious now, and they really know a lot of this stuff. It's more about how much further can I push my
This is where they've come with
capabilities with more knowledge and more practice and more information.
We'll have a good time. The students will have a good time. You're going to get a tremendous level of information, and there are different levels of knowledge. And when I met Rex, he was really the first guy that I had met that had that kind of tier 1 level of knowledge.
This won't be the last time that you guys do this. This is the best thing that I have seen or been associated with thus far in this industry. This is really good. I think that the guys have learned a lot about this on relative to the topics and how to handle it at the next one that they do. I expect that the next one will be better and better and better, and I think that the guys that go to it are going to benefit and learn a lot.
But you're going to see some amazing things when this company, as he builds this company and this curriculum, and it goes, I'm telling you, it's going to be a bookmark in American firearms training history. Like, something is different over there, what's going on, and people will come from all over.
Hey folks, Lou McCoy with the Rex Reviews Project, and we are here in Texas. Holy crap, man.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun. I'm here with Jesse and his lovely wife, and what do you guys have to say after the second day?
So we get out here, the first thing we did was check out all of our guns and equipment. We want that solid. We learn the fundamentals, make sure that everybody is doing things like correctly and properly, and that way when we start shooting out the longer distances, we don't we don't have to wonder what's all going on out there, And I think that's really cool, because you feel a lot more confident knowing that you're solid, you got a solid foundation when you start engaging things way out there. So.
And you
I think that's great.
Yeah, man. And you start off really close, and you get all the bugs worked out, and then you work out farther, and it's no big deal. It's easy.
Yeah,
it's easy. So the system works, Mr. Rex. It works, my man.
Just this experience was probably the best shooting experience I've ever had. It was the most I've ever learned, ever. So just getting to shoot out to 1,000, 1,100 yards, and these guys get you out there quick and do it the right way.
But I think it's rolling down off the hill. Right.
No way.
No. That's still barely a 2.
Talk. Single.
Oh yeah? It's hot air. Nothing.
Yeah, reticle choice and design I've really learned to like, that's really important. We always focus on all the other stuff, but reticle design, is very critical.
If you pay attention to those classes and watch those reviews, it'll all come together for you, and this is a place where it all comes together.
Yeah, and you get out in the field and you get to apply all that knowledge and see it in action, and that's gratifying.
Absolutely, and it's the real world issues that that you're really learning here, as opposed to just you get all that technical data, and then you bring it out here to the real world and you put it all together, and it works.
The secret Rex taught me about butterfly kisses on the cheek. And
It's actually true?
It was true.
Did it work?
It totally worked.
What?
It totally was. It happened earlier today, and all day I've been just on.
Like I just said a minute ago, yesterday everybody showed up. They were nervous. They didn't know what to expect. And look at the crowd behind us now. It's like a party back there, man. People are just having the time of their lives, and not only having a good time, but making some shots too. Some impressive ones.
They're learning what they come out here with. The dot drills, a lot of the drills that Rex and Paul are having us do, they really make you, get you into shape and make you, do exactly what you did the last time and be consecutive, So I think that's a just super way to start to do this stuff. So.
Yeah, it is. And you lay that solid foundation, and the rest is easy, man.
Yeah, we're just now it's not even really hard to shoot out there. We're shooting out at 1,100 yards, and really not that big a deal now after we, now that we know what to do.
All right, what just happened, man?
I just hit a water bottle at 875 yards.
And you had one shot.
One shot.
That's not bad. So what's the secret, man?
Aim small, miss small.
Amen. Well done, brother.
Thank you.
As long as you pay attention and do what the instructors say, it will all come together as an equation, and the equal sign pops right up.
Name's Edwin from Boston. Traveled out here to Pennsylvania to take the class to shoot past my home range of 600. Shot out to 1030, made some hits. Every time Rex teaches you something new and gets you comfortable, he totally messes with you. Gets you dirty, gets you muddy, makes you roll around in the rain and the mud and the dust. And then he takes your scope and he messes it all up, and he teaches us something new every time. So great time, good guys.
Nice shooting there, Tex.
Thanks, man. Second round hit on the gong and first round hit on Fred.
Almost a 1,000-yard shot. That was pretty awesome.
Feels good for first stage of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I wasn't shooting very good yesterday, but it's good to come back.
Haven't shot past 400 yards until I came to RX-18. Right off the bat, brought us right out to 1,000 yards, gave us some confidence. And after working the range tables, I see no reason why I couldn't hit any target that I knew the true range to and had the dope for, all the way out to and including 1,000 yards.
You're exposing, all the different students, including myself, to some different techniques, pulling from different arenas, whether it be from some application of competition, PRS, NRL kind of things. When we can't always take a prone shot, shooting off of obstacles, from unstable positions.
I came to the RX just to learn everything. It's a great place to be, great people. Learned quite a bit. Got me dialed in at ranges I've never even looked at before.
I've been to RX 17-001 seminar and 001 shooting, and so I have some familiarity, but this is just a lot better. This is what I really enjoy. The instruction is again top notch. We learn any problems we have, we immediately have someone diagnose the problem. It's because it's so relaxed, the environment, you're constantly learning and you don't even really realize it. I think it's just been an awesome experience, and the knowledge is unbelievable.
Hey, my name's Mitch. I just over here at the Rex Live Fire event. Learned a hell of a lot. I got my rifle zero for 100 yards yesterday, and within a few hours I was hitting 1,030 yards. Past 300 yards in my life, so it's definitely worth the money, definitely worth the trip, the hassle, everything about it's been great. Rex has been great, the crew's been great.
Oh, this has been terrific from my standpoint. We've seen things that we never expected to see. Let me see, we've got one guy, first time ever, at over a mile or whatever, and he's hitting 25, 80.
I think everyone got to a mile, didn't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, everyone got to a mile in the whole class relatively easily.
It's really been surprising, and that just shows how the equipment, and it shows how the shooters have progressed learning and with the instruction and all. These guys have had good instruction, and they've just got the job done.
And how far were you shooting?
It was 1 mile.
1 mile, and what were you using here?
300 Win Mag.
300 Win Mag.
But probably not. Watch out, Rex.
So you just hit the 2,500 yards. Like, what's your solution?
It was 116 and a half MOA elevation and 14 MOA windage.
And you had 4 shots.
Yes, sir.
You got in your team?
I had 6, so 10 total to hit 2551.
So tell me the story. How'd you finally spot where you're hitting?
I saw the trace. I saw his trace, and I called it good, but he was about 6 inches off the top right corner of the plate. He made a minor correction, bottom left edge of the plate, and I saw the top of the bullet, but I lost it, but it was an impact. So awesome shot.